for your business. Okay, so you're very welcome to the show. I'm very excited because it's Thursday. We're getting to already to the end of the week. It's been quite, not the weather hasn't been great, but we're almost there. We're almost at the end of the week. And what I want to do is very exciting today is I want to look at, and I'm going to get into as quick as possible, the 25 very useful phrases that you need to be using today in your life. Okay, not every one of them is related only to business. These are very flexible, and sometimes when you get to a high level, you can forget about these simple things that will make you feel and seem a lot more native. After that, we are going to be looking at the wrap up of what's been going on, or just some innovations here and there. We'll be looking at that from LinkedIn. Then we are going to look at our idiom of the day, phrasal verb of the day, slang and expression. And then what else have I got for you? In between all of that, I'm going to be helping you with your pronunciation, your vocabulary, all that kind of thing. So stay tuned and let's get into it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and look at the first one of our phrases, which I've got them written down here because there's 25 of them and I need them. I obviously can't remember off the top of my head. So what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to type these in, and as I'm typing, I'm going to give you guys the spelling, because often you can get mixed up with a few of the letters in English with the A, E, I, O, U. So let's go in and let's start with number one. And number one is HOW apostrophe S IT GOIN. How's it go? How is it going? Now, really, it's not common for us to say, how is it going? Okay, what we'll say is in English, how's it going? And it gets quicker. We contract the how's and it goes, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Okay, we drop the G and we'll just say, how's it going? How's it going? Okay, very common to use this. We would use this often, more often than how are you. Generally, I might use how are you when I know somebody had a problem before, and I say, how are you? How are you? But how's it going is very common. It's very native, and it's a nice way to change it up and use something different. How's it going? So we say hello, how's it going? Okay, number two is a follow-up to number one, which is, let me just spell it again. Right, this is number two, obviously. WHATHAVEYOU, what have you? BEENUP, what have you been up to? What have you been up to? So this is really a follow-up question to how's it going? And then the other person will reply, yeah, not bad. I'm just working away. Voy tirando. I'm just working away. And then the next question that can come up quite regularly is, yeah, what have you been up to? It's what have you been doing in these last few days? What have you been doing since I last saw you? So, okay, how's it going? What have you been up to? So obviously it gets quicker. What have becomes what have, and then what have you been up to? Okay, just like to give a shout out to English Class 101 for these 25 tips. Okay, that's where I got these from, and I'm sharing them with you. So, when we go contract, what have you been up to? Just working away, just with the family. I went on a trip last. Oh, okay, cool. So what have you been up to? Very native. Try and use it. It's not difficult to remember, and practice. What have you been up to? Okay. Let's go in and jump into number 3. Now remember, I want you guys to pay particular attention to when I'm spelling, okay? Because there's nothing probably more embarrassing when you have a great level of English, a very, advanced level, or just these are really intermediate, what I'm giving you today. But if you have a very good level or believe yourself to have a high level, and then you make these simple mistakes with spelling, can sound a bit, a bit bad. Nothing to lose sleep over, but, you don't want to get your A, E, I, O, and U wrong. So, right, here's the next one, number 3. And I'm going to tell you what it is first, and it's how have you been? Okay, so H-O-W, capital H, how, H-A-V-E, Y-O-U, B-E, okay, B-E-E-N, how have you been? Again, we're going to contract at the very start, and we're going to say have. It becomes have, because generally, if I jump back over here, most people will be doing this. Have. How, have. Okay, so H-A-V-E. How have you been? And this is something, often I would ask this question to somebody if they've had a situation that was, well, it's how have you been since I last saw you? And you're asking, sometimes maybe somebody had something go wrong with them. Maybe they had an illness or somebody in the family died. It's how have you been? It's kind of a bit more consoling a bit. Or maybe that you haven't seen the person for quite a long time. How have you been? I'm just thinking about a film. You see a film and you'll see a couple and maybe they're divorced and they're trying to be nice to each other. They haven't seen each other for a long time. And or a couple, and they're dropping back the keys. It's like, hey, how's it going? How have you been? It's like, I haven't seen you for a long time. How have you been? So have. That's how we link these two together. If you want to sound a bit more native, okay? That's what you need to be doing. We're going to jump in. Let's go to number 4. 4 of the 25. So the answer to this would be I've been capital I, apostrophe V-E. I've been, and maybe here what we'll do is quite often is we'll tell what we have been doing. So I've been working a lot. I've been, and we're going to use the ing, the gerund. So I've been working a lot, I've been doing a lot of research. I've been traveling a lot. So we're going to just say I've been, and it's a nice way to give people information on what you have been doing. So I've been, and followed by the gerund. Okay, so that is quite common, and it's a really natural way to tell people, in fact, what you have been doing, because often as foreign people, I do the same in Spanish, we'll just cut the pleasantries, which is the start. We'll just make it really short. Hola, ¿qué tal? Bien, bien, me too. Yeah, whatever, boring. Okay, in your language, you're using a lot of Spanish, and in my language, we are using a lot of different English expressions, and this small talk at the beginning can go on for a few minutes and then introduce a topic of conversation. So I've been blah, blah, blah. I've been walking the dog a lot. I've been watching a lot of TV. And then, of course, if you, let's say, don't look well, you could say, I haven't been taking care of myself, ing, remember? I haven't been speaking to anybody. I haven't been walking. I haven't been going to the gym. Okay, so letting people know I've been, and then followed by the ing. Okay, Now, my keyboard's a bit messed up, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. That was number 4. Let's move on to number 5 in the top 25, or the 25 that I'm going to give you today. So 5 is what? This is when I'm going to make a suggestion. All right, let's imagine do I need to do the capital H? I mean, let's be professional here. If I'm making a suggestion, I'm going to say something like, and I'm going to follow this with the gerund again. How about, oh my God, let me take this away. I changed the keyboard and I'm going to turn this off. Okay, so how about, and then you can say, as a suggestion, you can then use the normal verb. So how about we go to the cinema? How about we have dinner later tonight? How about we watch a movie? You can use it in that way with the verb, or you can also use it with the gerund. You can say, how about watching a movie together? How about eating at a restaurant tonight? How about meeting up sometime later this week? So you can use it with the verb, or you can use it with the gerund. And this is when we say you want to introduce a suggestion anytime you want. You could say you can use it in your business, in work for business. Anytime you want to make a suggestion, if you're on a project, you could say, how about we roll out the product in early 2023? How about we wait until late 2023? Okay, so you can just use the verb in, okay, how about waiting? So the verb or ing. How about when you want to introduce a suggestion? All right then. So that's number 5. Moving on then to number 6. And this is how we say give a polite refusal. Okay. Sorry, I can't. And can't what? If I do that one more time. This is a way when we get kind of angry at something. We say, if I do that one more time, with the slashes. So I can continue if I want. I can say, sorry, I can't. I have arranged to meet up with my friends already. Or sorry, I can't. I'm washing my hair. The old, this is a very old way that girls, I think, would refuse or turn down men. Or they didn't want to do something. Say, I'm washing my hair. So you can say, sorry, I can't, and give a reason. You say and just in the present tense. But often you can just say, sorry, I can't. No, sorry, I can't. And that way you are just, letting them know that you can't, and you can give the excuse if you want, whatever your real reason is, or you can, it's very common to say, sorry, I can't. And not everybody is really necessarily interested in knowing why you can't. So you just say, sorry, I can't. No, unfortunately I can't. Sorry, I can't. So, and remember, can and can't, remember in your mind, SORRYICAN'. This can't in the negative, you can try and use in your mind as if it were a K here at the C, because it's can't is stronger. And remember, this T here, super important. This T is super important. I'm actually going to just make this font slightly larger. Okay. Save. Right. Sorry, I can't. Very useful. A nice way of politely refusing whatever a suggestion is. Okay. Moving on now to number 6. And that is, quickly, James, don't waste people's time. 6. No, that was number 6. Sorry, I can't. Sorry, I can't was number 6. Now we're on to number 7. This is when something is a good idea. In business, in pleasure, whatever you're doing, if someone makes a suggestion, you can say, yeah, sure. sounds good. And let me go back because I'm going to spell this for you. SURESOUNDSGOOD. And let's stick an exclamation in there. Exclamation mark. If you didn't know. Sure, sounds good. Sure, yep, sounds good. Somebody just the other day asked me to watch the football, and I said, yep, sounds good. I just said sounds good on its own. I didn't even say sure. So you can say sure, sounds good, if you want to agree. Sounds great. Sounds fantastic. Oh, that sounds brilliant, you know. So sounds good is just generic great, you know. But you can change it. You sounds good, sounds super, sounds great, sounds like a great idea. But this is nice. This is nice when somebody suggests something. The meeting is fine at that time. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Yep, sure. Sounds good. Nice way to agree with a suggestion. All right, on to number 8, which seems like quite normal for people that are at an intermediate level, and that is DOYOUWANTTO ... / because it's a different button, and we'll follow that with a question. Do you want to? Do you want to go? Do you want to have the meeting this week or next week? Do you want to look over the report? Okay. However, native people rarely keep these words separate. We're going to say Joanna. Okay. It sounds like someone's name, like Joanna. Okay. But it's do you wanna? Do you wanna? Do you wanna? Joanna? And if I were to write this and the way we kind of say it, I would put it like this. Because anything with want to, we kind of say it so quickly, it ends up sounding like D''Y', do you wanna? Do you wanna have the meeting tomorrow, or do you wanna do it next week? Do you wanna? Okay. And this is the same for going to. Gonna. Want to is wanna. Now this is universal. This is not just my pronunciation. This is universal. Any English speaking country. Okay. So do you wanna, and then follow with the verb. Okay. Do you wanna have? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna meet? Do you wanna? Okay. It's the way it is. In every language, people say things quite quickly. And when people, generally young people, I suppose, or even on WhatsApp, anybody really will put wanna. This dia, ja, becomes like a j for me. Some people might say dia, Joanna, but often on the UK side of English, it will sound like a J, like Joanna, but it will be like Joanna. All right, so there's a little tip for you in English if you want to just suggest something. Do you want to go? Do you want to go? And often we'll say and. Do you want to go and get a pizza? Do you want to go? No. Do you want to go and watch a movie? Do you want to go and get something to eat? That's quite common to say that. Okay, so we're on to number 9 now. I don't want to hold you up too long. Hold you up means take your time, waste your time even. I'm going to just open up this on my list again. We are on to number 9 in 25 expressions that you need to be using for your intermediate. And after that we have number 9. This is when we're a bit like we don't know the name for something. And WHATDOYOU call ... Okay, what do you call? So when we don't know the name for something, often you might think that we say, "Oh, what is the name for?" We don't really say that. It's not so common. We'll say, "What do you call? What do you call the thing that is, you put on the top of a bottle?" Oh, the lid, the lid. That's called the lid. Yeah. Okay. What do you call? Or you could say, what do you call? And this do you again is what Jew becomes like Jew, almost like a person who is a Jew, Jew. We'll say this like this: what you call, what you call, and you could also say, I have it written here. Okay, what's the name for? What's the name for the thing you put on the top of a bottle or on the top of a jar, like a jam jar, mermelada jam? That's called a lid. That's called the lid. Yeah, it's the lid. Right. What's the name for, or what do you call? What you call? What do you call? Seems like simple stuff, but you might be saying quite often like, well, how is the name? Or but I'm just telling you that what we say most. I say mostly, what do you call? What do you call the thing? What do you call it when? What do you call when we're looking for a translation? All right, or just a simple name. And we're on to number 10 in a second of the 25 phrases that you need to be using today. Okay, and we're back with number 10, which is, how do I get to? How do I get to? How do I get to the train station? How do I get to the bus station? HOWDOIGETTO. Now, if we, it's going to become my trademark here. If we know the name, we'll use the name of the noun. Okay, we're going to say, how do I get to the train station? How do I get to the hospital? How do I get to the school from here? But if we're going to say we know it already, we know we're talking about the school, then we'll just drop the to and we'll say, how do I get there? How do I get there? Not how do I get to there. We just drop that and we'll just say we know what we're talking about. So we'll just say, oh, and how do I get there? So how do I get to the train station? To the train station. Oh, it's not difficult. You just need to I don't know. You just need to take the bus. Oh, okay. But how do I get there? Okay, well, you take the number 32 bus and that kind of thing. Okay, so how do I get to, and then we'll name the place. Okay, how do I get to the building? How do I get to the cinema? How do I get to the office if we're in a different city? Okay, and then we drop the to if we are going to just say there. How do I get there? Want to give you a little tip, okay? Just, I'm always giving tips, but here's one which is a little extra, okay? There, and where is my, yes, there, which is their house, and they are, all of these are pronounced the same, okay? They're all pronounced the same. And just remember, they're all pronounced exactly like the first one. Over there. Okay, where are we? Over there. Okay, or over there. There. Okay. The second one is pronounced the same, and the third one is pronounced the same. They all mean different things, They all mean different things. The first one is there, over there. The second one is their house. And the third one is they're in their house over there, right? No difference in the pronunciation. Just remember that, okay? That is all you need to know, okay? And that is not an opinion. That is the way it is in every country, okay? A nice little tip for you there. See what I did? Do you just see what I did there? Okay, we're on to number 11. And number 11 is, let me write it in, number 11. And we're on to, okay, this is interesting. I like this one. When you're saying goodbye to someone, H-A-V-E-A-N-I-C-E, E-V-E-N-I-N-G. Exclamation. Oh, I forgot the extra E. Have a nice evening. Right, so one of the main differences is here in Spain is after the morning you have the afternoon. Well, we kind of break what you call la tarde. We kind of break that up into two, and that is broken up into the afternoon and then the evening. And the evening really starts after 6 o'clock, around 6 o'clock, or maybe even 5 o'clock. So when I'm saying goodbye to someone, I'll say, okay, then see you later. Have a nice evening. Okay. I'm thinking about their time from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 until they go to bed. And then when I go to bed and when they go to bed, they will say to their family or their children or their husband or their wife, their partner, whoever, good night. Good night is when we're going to bed. That's when we're going to bed. We say good night, night night, night night often, night night. But good night is when we're going to bed. So good evening is when you want to say goodbye after 5 o'clock, after work. And a nice one is say have a nice evening. So it's nice. We would never say after 5 o'clock, have a nice afternoon. The afternoon has finished. In our mind, the afternoon is 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maximum 5 really. And then you're getting into the evening. So that is a nice one. And remember, good night is when you're going to bed. Now, if someone is going out for the night, late, you could say, have a good night. That's kind of like they're going dancing, they're going out really late, but like maybe to a nightclub afterwards. Okay, have a great night. You know, you're imagining them being out really late, but generally have a nice evening is perfect. Super. Number 12. Okay. You're again saying goodbye to someone and you want to say enjoy yourself, okay? And often for this one, we'll say have a good one. H-A-V-E-A-G-O-O-D-O-N-E. Have a good one. This is really native. This is really useful to use. Have a good time. And it can, I don't know, it's, maybe a bit distancy. I remember seeing in the video, and I know what the person's saying. It can be like, maybe if I'm closer to the people, I might say, you know, okay, have a great time, enjoy yourselves. But, you know, maybe if I meet people, or people from work even, you know, and they're going out, oh, what are you doing now? Well, we're going to do shopping, and then we're going to go probably and like have a few drinks. Okay. Do you want to join, or how about coming with us? Sorry, I can't. Okay, then, you know, have a good one. So have a good one. It's a nice one. It's a nice expression, and it is quite popular to use. Have a good one. Have a good time. Have a good one. We're on to number 13. And number 13 is when we go somewhere and we want to order something, C-A-N-I-H-A-V, ... and then please at the end. Okay, so when we go into a place and we want to order something and we're looking, we will say, can I have? So, can I have one of those chocolate donuts, and can I have 2 croissants, please? Quite often here in Spain, you are a bit more straightforward. It's not a question. You'll say, give me. We can't really say that in English. It's too. It seems rude. I know it's not rude here in Spain because that's the way it is. But in English, it would come across as rude. So you always say, can I have? And then you'll say what I want. So if you want to order something that you can see, or somebody comes to you to take your order, you can say, can I have a so what do people call café con leche? They'll call it a flat white or a white coffee. Flat white's quite common. So can I have a white coffee, and can I have a Americano coffee, decaffeinated, please? Okay, so that's how we would ask, can I have? And it's very simple. Like when when you go into a shop, these are the simple things that we often forget. I even have problems in Spanish. Or I'll just use something the same all the time. Or that I forget, and then I'll start asking in this style, which doesn't really work in Spanish. So, right. So what we'll do is we're on number 14, and then we're gonna say a number, and then of the noun. Okay, number of the noun. So can I have you might be looking at something and say, okay, can I have 3 of the chocolate donuts? Can I have 2 of the jam croissants? So we'll just say the number of the, and then the noun. Okay. So 2 of the, this is a way we can order and we can ask for things, is give the number of the noun. All right. So 2 of the, I'm trying to think of when I'm looking at something behind a counter or something. So I'm just thinking of donuts and croissants. So yes, can I have 2 of the chocolate donuts, and then 3 of the veggie burgers? That's what I'm going to ask for. Okay, number of the noun, of the. Moving on to number 15. Okay, this is when we are asking for help, and we're going to ask HOWDOI, and then the verb. Okay, so you might ask, how do I get to the cinema? How do I open this document? This is when we want to know how to do something. So how do I? So if I don't know what you're using right at the moment, but when you have a question you want someone to help you, it's how do I, and then you're just using the present simple verb, simple present. Okay, how do I fix this? How do I turn up the volume? How do I close the computer? Just followed by the simple present. How do I? Okay, HOWDOI, verb, VERB. Question mark. If you want to know how to pronounce, if you have a situation like most people here in Spain, the pronunciation of the V, if you do not live in Castilla y León, you have a problem, which is for us native English speakers, or for everyone, you sound like you are making a B, like this B at the end of verb. So you would say burb. That sounds very amusing or funny to us to our ears. So if you want to practice how to do that correctly, either go to Castilla y León or you can ask me and I will tell you. Put your 2 fingers here, and you're at home, of course. Do it at home, because if you don't, you'll look a bit silly. Go in front of a mirror, espejo, a mirror, and put your 2 fingers here, and you're going to make the sound of the F, like F for fantasma. So, right? So we don't hear anything, but keep your mouth exactly the same for the F sound. And now you'll use your voice, but don't change your mouth. Verb, 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 football. So my mouth is exactly the same as an F. The only difference is I'm using my vocal cords. And that's the trick if you want to practice with your F sound. And I guarantee results. Don't do it in a public place. You might look a bit silly. Here we go. Number 16. We're going. Number 16. Trying to move along. 16 is, how late are you open? If you want to know, HOWLATEAREYOUOPEN. How late are you open? And question mark. I need to get rid. So, useful expression. I want to get rid of the exclamation mark. How do I get rid of the exclamation mark? Well, I need to just do that. So, how do I get rid of that? How late are you open? If you want to ask a shop, if you go to a place, you want to perhaps do something else first and then come back to the shop, you'll say, how late are you open? We're open until 9 o'clock. We're open until 6 o'clock. We're open until 9 o'clock. How late are you open? It's a good way to, maybe naturally you'll translate from your language and you'll say, at what time do you close? Perhaps. That wouldn't be very common to say in English. Of course you can say it, but it would sound a bit distinct. It would sound like, oh, I never really hear that. So, and again, nobody will correct you. Nobody will say, oh, we don't say, at what time do you close? We'll say, how late are you open? That's not going to happen. So how late are you open is quite common. 17. Moving on. 17 is a kind of a question. Do you, Y-O-U, H-A-V-E, A-N-Y, P-L-A-N-S, F-O-R. Do you have any plans for the weekend? Do you have any plans for this evening? Do you have any plans for tomorrow? So you're asking someone, and then you're probably more than likely going to make a suggestion. I remember seeing, like, you see this in movies, like some person might ask someone because they want to ask them on a date, and they'll say, do you have any plans for Saturday? And the girl says, no. It's like, oh, how about having dinner together or something like this? Do you have any plans for? So you can, if you want to make a suggestion to people, if you want to know, like, instead of saying, how about going out this weekend, you can say, do you have any plans for Saturday? Do you have any plans for next Tuesday? Whatever. Do you have any plans for? That's number 17. And we're on to number 18. Hope we're moving quick enough for you guys. Remember, we are with LK Formación. LK Formación. Here you see here the website. Jump on over. And number 18 is, this is a great one. MY. And then you, where are we? M-Y, and then my back hurts. M-Y-B-A-C-K-H-U-R-T-S. My back hurts. And you can say this pretty much about any part of your body. All right, you also have headache, tummy ache, but a lot of people forget this. And another thing to say is, my arm hurts, my wrist hurts, my fingers hurt, okay, because it's S at the end there is for singular. But yeah, my neck hurts, my head hurts, my eye hurts, whatever, my nose. So it's a way of saying me duele, okay, that you can remember. My back hurts. We are on to number 19, which is okay when we go to a shop, cafe, wherever you go, and you want to know the price if it is not already mentioned, and that is how much is, okay, how much is this phone cover, please? Okay. Or you can also say, how much is this phone cover? Or how much does this phone cover cost? How much does this phone cover cost is another way of saying, but anything generally, how much is a ticket to Avila? How much is a ticket to Sevilla on the train? How much is? When we want to know, we would never say what is the price of. That's not something we would say. I don't know exactly if you are saying that, but how much is? Nice and simple. And we're on to number 20. Moving relatively fast. I hope you're staying with me. Number 20 is, this is great. Okay. I'll pretty much say 100 of my percent of my students say, sorry, can you repeat? And we just don't say this in English at all. What a nice one to say is this. And you just say it with nice intonation. That's all you need to do. Nice intonation will fix everything. So, sorry, what did you say? Sorry, what did you say? If you are comfortable with the people and the politeness is already there, it's friends, you can just say what to your friends. But in a meeting with your boss, with colleagues, with anyways, sorry, what did you say? There's other ways of saying it. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to focus on this one. And this is very good. You say it in a nice intonation. You say it in a nice way. Sorry, what did you say? Sorry, can you repeat? We do not say this in English. We do not say this. If anything, you will hear sometimes, rarely, is, sorry, could you repeat that, please? Could you repeat that? That at the end is very important. To say only, sorry, can you repeat? No. And I suppose you guys are not saying that at the end because that sounds strange for you. But if you want to keep your can you repeat, you need to say that at the end. And please, could you repeat that, please? Or if you can say can, it's okay. But sorry, what did you say? Okay, try it. Just use something new. Okay, I'm gonna try and do it for myself in a different, in your language. I'll what do I say? ¿Me lo puedes repetir, por favor? And that is not something I would say. Like, could you repeat that for me, please? I would never really. I'd say, sorry, what was that? Sorry, what did you say? Okay, so it's just not the same. Try and use this one. It's very nice. And all you have to do is sound polite. And sorry. Okay. On to 21. Okay, it's pretty simple. WHAT DOES. THATMEAN. What does that mean? Okay, and I'm trying to get the meaning of where that might come from. So let's take away that, and if you have a question about anything in English or in any, we'll say, what does, if you hear a word perhaps in the English language that you are not familiar with, we say, what does mean? What does, let me think of a word I came across today with my students. Of course, lid, L-I-D. Okay, what does, James, what does lid mean? I don't know. What does lid mean? That's how we ask what something is. And lid, a lid is what you put on top of a bottle. Okay, what does mean? I don't know what you are using right at the moment, but and also you can say, what does that mean? Of course, means whatever you said. Can you explain it? I don't know what it means. What does that mean? What does mean? Okay, that's number 21. I think we're almost going to take all of the time with this. We don't have much time left. Let's try and just get these done, because it's a good topic for today. We're on to 22. Right. 22 is IDON apostrophe T FEEL SOGOD. Bit more on the United States, US side. I think perhaps what I would say myself would be well. I don't feel so well. Now, this is generally used in a situation where it is sudden. Okay, something has happened and perhaps you need to get to the toilet, the bathroom, the restroom, the loo. You need to get there quickly, let's say. So it's kind of a sudden feeling. I say, I don't feel so good. And the next thing, or I don't feel so well. So you might need to leave work, or you might need to get to a bathroom quickly, or something like this. It's a sudden feeling. I don't feel so. Perhaps if it was just in general, you might say, I don't feel great today. But this expression, I don't feel so good, is when it happens kind of immediately, okay, and you need to get out of there. So I don't feel so good, or I don't feel so well. That's more of an immediate one. 23. Okay. You can also say, I don't feel so good, I don't feel so well, I also might say, I don't feel great. I don't feel great. I don't feel great. Okay, don't analyze too much. It's more like an expression. I don't feel so good. I don't feel so well. I don't feel great. 23. Now, and this is what we would say. INEEDTOGO THE, and then okay, we'll just put toilet there. Okay, for the moment, there's different names: the toilet, the restroom in the United States, the bathroom in the United States, the loo, the toilet. We'll just say the toilet for what we say is, for argument's sake, is what we say. Just, I need to go to the toilet. So I need to, or I have to. It's more of a, it's an obligation. It's an obligation. I need to is something that is that I have to do. The opposite would be I don't need to. I don't need to. Just so you know, I need to go to. Okay. And then a general responsibility, which is more for someone else, would be I have to. I have to work tomorrow. I have to for example, I need to go, or I need to go to the loo. I have to go. It's more like a desire, and I have to here. It's more of a general responsibility. I have to, and also yes, you can use the auxiliary. Say I have to be, or the verb I am. I have to be at work tomorrow. This is more of an obligation. A responsibility is I have to. It's more of a responsibility. I have to go to work tomorrow. I have to organize a presentation for Tuesday. I have to. It's more of an obligation. 24. And we're almost done. That was 24. We're on to the last one. 25. WHENAREWE. When are we leaving? Okay, when are we leaving is when are we going? When are we leaving? So it's a way to ask when we are getting out of a place. So when are we leaving? Okay, so brilliant stuff there. We got 25 of the expressions that you need to know. These are good phrases. They are often kind of forgotten by people. They're quite simple. It would be at an intermediate level, really, but you know when I'm spelling these letters for you as well, it's easy to forget these things. So I hope they're helpful. And what we're going to do before we go is we're going to quickly jump across and we're going to look at our idiom, phrasal verb, and expression and slang. Okay, so join me there in a second. Right, we're here now. We are in our phrasal verb of the day, our idiom, and all this. Let's jump down. Okay. The idiom of the day, and I'll just make sure my camera is nice and small, is to go out of business. Okay? To go out of business. That means if a company goes out of business, it stops trading and closes down. Do you know of any crypto companies that went out of business in the last few days? FTX? FTX went out of business. A lot of companies went out of business during the economic recession. What will you do if your company goes out of business? Okay, so to go out of business means to stop operating, to close down, okay, for whatever reason. That's to go out of business. Next is our phrasal verb of the day, and that is to make out. The meaning is to write the details on a check or a legal document. For example, who should I make the check out to? I'm going to see my lawyer and he's going to help me make out my will. So yes, it's very common. If you imagine you win a prize and there's two of you and the person says, who shall I make the check out to? And you go, oh, make it out to me, please. Of course. And make out my will. So it means to write the details on a check or a legal document. To make out. Slang, let's go. Eco freak. Eco freak. Not very nice to say this, but it's slang. A person with strong views on the importance of protecting the natural environment. Before becoming Minister for the Environment, Peter was a rock star and an eco freak. All these eco freaks came and lay down in front of the bulldozers to stop them from clearing the forest. This is something now that's very much in the news with the Stop Oil campaign, and you could label them, if you don't like those people, you could label them eco freaks. It depends how you say it. You might have an uncle or an aunt and they belong to Stop Oil, that group, and you might like them and really support them. You say, and Maria is just, she has always been an eco freak. So yeah, you can use it. It depends on the way you use it. It depends on the context, and finally, we are going to look at our saying of the day. Truth is stranger than fiction. So we normally say truth is stranger than fiction when you just hear a crazy story and it's stranger than what you could read in a book. And you say, yeah, wow. Like sometimes we generally say sometimes truth is stranger than fiction when we hear an interesting story like that. So guys, thanks for being with me today. I'm gonna let you guys go, and I hope you have a good let's say a good evening. I hope you have a good evening, okay? And I shall either catch up with you, I don't know, I might check in with you tomorrow, or I'll either check in with you early next week. So have a good one. I'll talk to you later.